Shalom, dear friends. As we enter the Hebrew month of Adar II, I wanted to share two ideas with you about Purim and its related themes. Those two topics are the issue of government surveillance, and the second topic is Israeli government exit strategy from Gaza. More exactly, exit strategy from the government in general, how to end the government and go to elections. First, the idea of surveillance. In the Purim Megillah, which we will read on Purim in 2 weeks or less, we see that Achashverosh had a giant party of 180 days, and he invited all the ministers from all the 127 provinces of this realm. And it says in the Megillah that at first he served them with gold vessels, gold cups to drink from, and then he gave them kelim shonim, various vessels, which our commentators explain to mean that he gave every ethnic and regional group the vessels, the dishes that they were used to in their locale. And even to the Jews, he gave vessels from the temple, which had been stolen some decades before by Nebuchadnezzar. He wanted to show them that he knew what their local vessels were. Now, at one hand, there might be something like to flatter them, but there's a subconscious message there also that we know everything about it. It makes them feel a little like shaken up that, wow, the government even knows what our local dishes look like. And I think that this is an issue which is very pertinent today. Unfortunately, the idea of surveillance by government has grown a lot. Recently in Congress, they had some congressional hearings. Jordan Peterson spoke there. He talked about what's going on in China. Heaven protect us from the Chinese Communist Party, how they have cameras over the whole country and they advanced software. They recognize people's faces and their eye movements and all types of things. And unfortunately, this is used in China to protect, to control people, to restrict their freedoms, and to punish them for activities which the government doesn't like, which is against the government, which they think is against the government, meaning anything that's not in their interest. And unfortunately, these things are being used by Israel a lot, not so much in Israel, but Israel, the companies were involved and are involved in developing all types of spyware through phones and stuff, the whole NSO scandal, which both sides of the current government endorsed. They didn't stop them from selling that stuff to all these ridiculous countries who used it to spy on their political enemies. And this is something that we really have to repent for and get out of, because it's a disgusting thing. And the next issue I want to talk about was the Israeli government exit strategy. And again, as I start to say at the beginning, I don't mean from Gaza, although I start to say that, but rather how to get out of the government of Klal in general. Here in my Hamadim newspaper just last week, there's an article called Politics. Netanyahu passes yeshiva. Netanyahu says, pass yeshiva student compromise law or elections will force end to war. I want to tell you, my friends, I've been in Israel for over almost 30 years, and I've grown to learn that this is the biggest farce in the country. Meaning, anytime that the government wants to go to elections, they'll use the yeshiva draft thing to issue to go to elections, and they're just pulling the wool over the voters' heads, which go for it every time, because they don't have much of a choice with our current system, where the politicians decide when the elections are. And again, here you see it's coming up again, right? Things are getting uncomfortable. Things aren't really going well with the war. And And so here's a chance for them to shake things up. They always want to shake things up because when they shake things up, they always come back to power because the guys that all the parties all come back again in our current coalition system, rather having a clear executive system like in America. So it's good for them. It's good for them. Whenever you have problems, just go to elections. That's why we have so many elections here. Here it says Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned Thursday that the failure to compromise on yeshiva student draft law would lead to general elections that would force the end of the Gaza war. Well, very convenient. And of course, I think that every Jewish man should go to the army, but they know that they can't force people to do it. But they keep talking about forcing people to do it, really just as a political issue, just to break up governments and go to elections. There's no other practical purpose to it. So I'm very sorry to see that. I want to share it with you. I wish you well, and a Adar Bet Sameach. Thanks for listening.